Giant slimes are large, green ooze that prowl in dark, wet areas like swamps and sewers to find prey. They usually subsist off of fungi and plants, but when some more substantial meal wanders by, they pounce and slay them, dissolving all organic material before moving on to another prey. As such, they sometimes contain coins and other valuables from previous victims. Their powerful enzymes can break down almost any organic substance, but stone, metal, and other similar substances are completely untouched. They are unusually quick and intelligent for oozes, hunting with an almost calculated approach, attempting to separate prey, devour them one by one. They can also vaguely distinguish hostile creatures from friendly creatures, a trait unheard of in most slimes. Gelatinous cube that takes up the entire space. The creatures can enter the space, but a creature that does so is subject to the cube's engulf and has disadvantage in all saving throws. Creatures inside the cube can be seen but have total cover. A creature within 5 feet of the cube can take an action to pull a creature or object out of the cube. Doing so, the cube can hold one large creature up to a medium to 4 medium or small creatures at once. Shimigami Tensei, just as with demons, just as with fiends, also has a great number of slimes. Their things as a Dungeons & Dragons fantasy role-playing game, and ooze is a type of creature. This category includes most monsters as slime, jellies, deadly puddings, and similar mindless amorphous blobs. They can be used by dungeon masters as enemies or allies of the player characters. Many oozes dwell underground, and the most severe, most secrete an acid from their skin that dissolves flesh and other materials rapidly. Oozes are essentially blind, but more than make up for that with an ability called blind sight, which allows them to discern nearby objects and creatures without needing to see them. Recently, an anime came out by the name of That One Time That I Was Resurrected as a Slime, in which looks at if a slime came to be that had an intelligence, what it could become. In the book, we'll start with a slime. Slime is a semi-solid monster that dwells in large numbers on grasslands and plains, typically near towns. Though they can occasionally be found in other regions, they often wander about in search of human men. They are capable of expanding and contracting their blue, semi-solid bodies at will to assume a variety of shapes, and are intelligent enough to speak, though their thoughts are simple. When a slime discovers a man, stretches out her fluid body, entangling his with hers, keep him from moving. She extracts his semen and other bodily fluids in a manner uncannily reminiscent to sexual intercourse. A slime's body is capable of milking the semen from a man under almost any condition, enveloping his body with a liquid pleasure while she does. The slime stores the essence, gathers surplus nourishment not needed to form her womanly body, pools at her feet. When this surplus accumulates to a certain point, it splits off, forming a new slime that looks just like the original. One can think only of ingesting nourishment and immediately joins in the feast. She will remain with her sister until she is comfortable enough to set out on her own and seek her own prey. The simple structure of the slime makes them highly adaptable, also sensitive and thus quite susceptible to mana and their environment. Changes resulting from one of these factors has led to the birth of a number of variants, including the higher order red slime, the hypertrophic mutation known as the queen slime, the bubble slime, which is strongly influenced by her habitat, and the dark slime. It is said that factors such as long-term mating from a single man or changes in habitat can change the slime into another monster in the same family. The red slime, with its crimson elastic body, is a higher order slime. Much like the slime, they dwell on the plains and grasslands near human settlements, though in smaller numbers, mixed among common slimes in similar habitat. The red slime is superior to the slime in physical and mental abilities, particularly their emotional capacity is in some individuals so emotionally complex they appear deeply human. While slimes have a strong tendency to act according to instinct, red slimes possess some semblance of reason and are capable of communicating their thoughts clearly. Red slimes feed on and desire the delicacy of human semen in the same manner as slimes. They are somewhat more violent than common slimes. They see a human man, so they can be expected to attack aggressively and mate with him. Though their intelligence and emotional condition is more finely tuned, they are still slimes, mind and body, a monk of pleasure. Despite this, and despite their theoretical superiority, red slimes are still less dangerous slimes because they are considered less dangerous than slimes because of their emotional complexity, which often leads them to allow prey to escape. This choice may be related to their refined sensitivity regarding prey, pride, and their greater power or embarrassment. Red slimes reproduce in the same way as slimes by splitting off from a surplus pool of nutrition from new individuals. Relationships between the original slime and her subsequent sister clones are more clearly defined than among slimes, though the drive to feed upon their prey is overwhelming. Thus, in the end, the behavior of the red slime does not differ all that greatly from the common slime after all. Queen slime. The queen slime is a mutation known as the queen of a slime family. Though they look like a collection of several slimes huddled together with a queen at its center and several discrete retainers around its periphery, the queen slime is, in fact, a single monster. Queen slime is made when the dividing mechanism of a common slime is defective. Unable to split off excess accumulation of nourishment, the central body and peripheral bodies differ in abilities, but are under the governance of the queen and share the same awareness, thoughts, and memories. Like other slimes, queen slimes feed on the essence of human men by wrapping their prey in their highly viscous body or sex eating. However, the center body queen is very slow moving, perhaps as a result of the local hypertrophy of her body. Therefore, her retainers are more aggressive to secure her prey. Due to her physical size, the queen slime is far more voluptuous than common slimes, and when a man is caught by her retainers, he can expect to spend eternity in the center of her harem. Queen slime, who has mated with a man for a long time, develop as if he were a village of slime, entity known as a slime kingdom. Her peripheral bodies rapidly grow, more intelligent, they swell in size. Groupings of these bodies take on separate roles, from knights and magicians who protect the queen and her man, to hunters who produce food for the man, to merchants who trade with other races. As the queen slime grows, still more intelligent, and her bodies multiply, some even take on the role with no clear function, such as pleasure slaves made singularly for the man's delight. Regardless of how intelligent and numerous queen slime becomes, the principal intent of her actions remains the same: dine to her heart's content, to expand her kingdom. Even in the trade of the merchants, said mostly to be a venture aimed at obtaining drugs, equipment to boost the man's potency. Because a queen slime only mates with the man she considers her husband, one may think slime kingdom that has a man at its core is safe to enter. However, this is by no means the case, as other monsters have been known to take up residence in a slime kingdom, especially because it is difficult to distinguish a slime queen's peripheral body from a common slime. The sea slime is a variant of the slime that has adapted to live in the ocean. Like this slime, categorized as a semi-solid life form. However, the slime is more fixed in shape to prevent its body drifting apart. Thus, it cannot deform at will in the matter of the slime. Sea slime can use their skirt-like bells to swim, but in most cases, they simply drift wherever the ocean's current takes them. On rare occasions, up on shore. More frequently, they rise in the nets of fishermen. If they get caught in those nets, they open their bells and legs wide to solicit sexual intercourse. Though this is not commonly sufficient seduction to cause a man to pout, it seems that some fishermen are unable to resist, so starving are they for women after living so long at sea. Sea slimes are swayed heavily by the joys of intercourse, as they are the ocean's current. As the man violates and pleases the slime, she drinks up his every touch and echoes it back with the undulation of her body and the oscillation of her hip. She appears typically submissive during intercourse, but if man attempts to cut it short, falling to her temptation, tickles will unravel her bell and inject him with paralyzing venom. She then rocks her hips even harder against his frozen body and is unlikely to release him till she is either satisfied or the man faints from. The slime feeds off of the essence of men. Surplus nutrients are stored in her bell. When her bell grows to a certain size, it divides to produce a sister sea slime. These clones are undernourished and have not yet grown a bell, which leaves their lower bodies fully exposed. Slimes seek a mate as soon as they can, longing for the slide of a man's penis moving within her, so that she can apply her raw, untamed touch. The bubble slime is a variant of the slime that lives in dark, moist areas, wetlands, and sewers. Though bubble slimes are intelligent enough to speak, their thoughts are very simple. Search of human men upon whom they prey. The viscous body of the bubble slime emits a strong musk, which makes them easy to detect when near. This is the result of the chemical reaction that occurs in her body, causing parts of it to detach in the form of bubbles. For this reason, the bubble slime is far more ravenous than the common slime. When a bubble slime spots a man and attempts to extract his semen, other bodily fluids in a manner reminiscent of sexual impotence. However, her body is more liquid than that of the common slime, and combined with the awkwardness of her movement, makes it difficult for her to efficiently restrain her prey. She prevents escape by first administrating her body of slime through oral transmission. She kisses the man, filling his mouth with the strong aphrodisiac of her addictive flesh. Under its influence, the man will seek her body with great passion. The effect of small doses wears off after a modest period of time, but heavy intake causes a man to depend on body of the bubble slime, leave her stench as a pleasant smell. There is no going back from this. They will most likely be living without her. It is said that her odor is caused by her toxins she absorbs in rank environments. Therefore, if one brings the bubble slime out to her and allows her to live for a time, her odor will vanish. Then she will be found to give a surprisingly sweet aroma. Perhaps the pleasant scent smell is simply an enhancement. The last slime in Kinku Cross's Volume 1 is the dark slime. The dark slime is a higher order variant of the slime, due to a greater accumulation of magical power. Dark slimes live throughout the monster realm. Their purple bodies have a sphere called a slime core at the center that allows them to level higher level thought and magic than a common slime. When a dark slime discovers a man, she strikes aggressively and entangles him in her thick, pliant body and restricts his movement. She then extracts his semen and other bodily fluids in a manner resembling sexual intercourse. Her aggression and violence are far beyond that of the slime and make her a much more dangerous monster. One should also take heed of her accumulated mana, as she uses it for magical seduction. While typical slimes attack men due to hunger or lust, dark slimes act more in accordance with their succubi-like character. Due to their superior cognitive faculties and the succubus mana that flows throughout their bodies, dark slimes do not attack men merely for food, but also to savor and delight in the essence of pleasure. They also resemble succubi in their words and gestures, which are conspicuously lewd and inviting. The sexual talents of the dark slime also go beyond the mere instinctive squeezing of essence exhibited by much of monster kind. Their malleable bodies are dexterous and grant all manner of pleasure to the man in order to heighten the blissful gratification of their union. The man is likely to find his mind loosened more easily by pleasure when with a typical. Like slimes, dark slimes can multiply by division. Can also transform human women into fellow dark slimes. Upon seeing a woman, a dark slime attacks and engulfs her, in all of her body. The woman finds her entirety subjected to a continual melting bliss. The contents of her mind become colored by a single hue of pleasure. Once the woman's consciousness has been fully dissolved in sexual joy, coalesces into a new slime core. Slime core produced in this function forms a new body based on that of the former human and is reborn as a new earth. The former human body retains knowledge and memories from her previous life. The pleasure given to her by the first dark slime has already liquefied her body, mind, and body into a amorphous goo which well befitted a slime, which seeks only lascivious male essence and the function of violence and pleasure. The dark slime's weak point is her slime core. It is extremely sensitive to exterior stimulation. Just a touch is apparently sufficient to render her immobile with delight. That's everything for today. Thank you very much. Be sure to hit like, and turn on that bell so you know when the next video is coming up.